Hey guys, what is up? It is me, Pagey here once again with another video on, I guess, the Flash Season 4, but it's a Q&A, so it's a couple of things mushed together. So it's the Flash Season 4 plus extras, I guess. Anyway, wearing the glasses because I'm reading off a notepad and I need to wear the glasses to read properly because my eyes are not crap, they're just not 100%. Anyway, so yeah, I asked you guys in the community tab about 5 days ago or something to leave me questions for a Q&A, so I picked 8 of them. I can't pick too many because the video would go for too long, because I want to actually be able to answer each question properly, if that makes sense. So there's only 8, and if you got picked, congratulations. If not, you can leave your questions in the comment section down below if they didn't get asked or answered in this video. And obviously, if you're going to enjoy the video, be sure to drop a like on it and subscribe to the channel if you're new. Also, be sure to follow me on all my social media, which will be linked in the description below, because why not? Anyway, the first question comes from Lane B, and they ask, if you could make a DCEU movie, what character would you choose, and what story would you tell? As most of you know, if you've been following my channel for a while, my favorite character from the comics, I guess you'd call him a superhero, I just like to call him a character from the comics, or a hero from the comics, is Green Arrow. That's why I got like a close affiliation with Arrow, if you want to call it that. That's why it's sometimes defended when some other people are bashing on it. Season 4 was crap, we all know that. But yeah, I like Green Arrow a lot. And Green Arrow Rebirth is my favorite Rebirth comic from the DC Rebirth stuff. But yeah, he'd be the character I'd use because I want to see a Green Arrow movie. You'd make it a Green Arrow and Black Canary movie. That's how it would go. But I think you'd just call it Green Arrow. I don't think you need to call it Green Arrow and Black Canary, the blah 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 blahs. You just call it Green Arrow or Green Arrow with something something something. But yeah, Green Arrow. Green Arrow is what we want. And the storyline, we want it to be, focus on Green Arrow, but also Oliver Queen. I think it's an important part of Green Arrow is the Oliver Queen side of him, which I think some other movies, not only just like the DC movies, but a lot of just superhero movies in general, they just focus on like the Spider-Man, Spider-Man Homecoming did focus on the Peter Parker side. I'm just using that as an example, like the Spider-Man side or the Black Panther side or the blah 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 side. You know what I mean? They focus on the hero side more than the, just the regular person or the public persona, which I think if you did a Green Arrow movie, arguably you probably focus more on the Oliver Queen side. You probably do 60% that and then 40% Green Arrow. And he does a lot of his work in discovering stuff while he's Oliver Queen. And you could do really two jobs that he's doing, whether he is mayor or he's just the businessman. I would personally go for the businessman because he's more the businessman in the comics, and like the mayor is just like a part of his story more than like a big section of it, or like a majority section of it, might I say. So a storyline around that, whether it be like corruption or something like that. He's a very political character, so you want to focus a story like that. You don't want to make it that he's versing some Batman level villain. You want to make it suitable for his story. I wouldn't be able to specifically name one off the top of my head. If you're reading Rebirth, the Ninth Circle is pretty good. It's a bit out there. I don't think it would suit the first Green Arrow movie, but something along those lines would be pretty cool to see. So Green Arrow movie and just something political that he can do, that he faces the consequences of in both his Oliver Queen life and his Green Arrow life. Question 2 comes from Alejandro Acevedo. Hopefully I pronounced that right. And they asked, how long do you think Wally will be sticking on Legends for? This is a pretty quick one. He'll probably be gone from Legends come next season. We know that Constantine is joining Legends for Season 4, when it gets renewed. But I think Wally will go back to Flash next season, just because I think he's too OP to be in a whole season of Legends. He's suiting Legends at the moment because really he hasn't done much. Not really facing too much off the wave rider. It'll be interesting in the next couple of episodes when they go off the wave rider and stuff. But I think at the beginning of Legends, you know what they're doing at the beginning of the seasons. I just think Wally's a bit too overpowered for that. So I think he will go back to Flash, and they'll be able to incorporate him more into the story next season. This season is just because it's not speedster orientated. It's hard for them to involve Wally all the time. So that's why he's on Legends at the moment. But next season, I can see him being back on Flash. So Wally's on Legends, in my opinion, until the end of the season. Then he goes back to Flash for next season. Question 3 comes from Spider-Man himself, Peter Parker. Sorry for revealing your identity. Do you think Barry will time travel this season? If not, which one? So which season? This season, no. Next season, most likely. That's why I was a bit on the whole thing from the Enter Flash Time episode when Jesse brought up time travel and Barry shot it down. I was like, Like, really? You're just going to time travel next season, probably like back a year or something. So you may as well just go back 3 seconds now. Like, is there really a minute? Is there really too much of an issue with that? Even though like the whole thing is like don't time travel, we know Barry's going to time travel again. It's one of the Flash's main abilities. It's arguably his most overpowered ability. The fact that he can travel through time. He could go back and when Superman's a baby and kill Superman as a baby. You know what I mean? He can do anything. Go kill Batman as a baby. Go kill the Joker when he was younger, and all these different things. He can go back in time. He's a very overpowered character. So time travel is his most overpowered character, and it'll be a massive cop out if they took the Flash's most overpowered ability and just ripped it up, and it's not going to be on the show again. It's going to be in next season. We all know that. If you're denying it, I don't know what's wrong with you. But yeah, it's going to be in next season. We all know it because it's his most overpowered ability. And I think that Enter Flash Time episode, when that part came up, I just scratched my head and I was like, that's silly because he's just going to do it next season. Anyway, question 4 comes from Neon. I thought it said Neon, but Neon. And they ask, do you think that the Quark Sphere that they threw into the Speed Force to fill in for Barry will eventually fail? So, yeah, we saw Barry pick that up in Enter Flash Time. We're referencing Enter Flash Time a lot. But he picked up the Quark Sphere and then threw it at the nuclear bomb, so the Speed Force would use its power to sort of just to get that, but in turn destroying the nuclear bomb. I think eventually it will fail. I can't see them doing that being like a placeholder for like the rest of the series and Barry's safe. I think eventually it will fail, and it's more like a temporary solution, so Barry's out of the Speed Force, and they will come back to that at a later option. Probably when a speedster villain is the big bad again, most likely next season in season 4. Did I say season 4 before for the last question? I meant season 5. We're in season 4 at the moment. So season 5 for The Flash. I keep saying season 3 because Legends is in season 3 and Supergirl's in season 3, so I'm getting confused. Anyway, for season 5 of The Flash, I'm guessing that will come back up again because I just can't see that being a placeholder forever. It's a bit lazy, in my opinion. So I think they should go back to that and sort that out, and maybe Barry just begs for forgiveness from the Speed Force, saying, I'm sorry, just stop this all. Hopefully that happens because it's a bit of a loose end, just having that easy thing in the Speed Force that's like protecting Barry. It's a bit lazy in my opinion. But in regards if anyone had to go fill in, I can't see that happening. It would just probably be some solution that happens where just like it all gets made all good, but it's a major issue at the time in the show. Like Barry could possibly be like slowly dying, getting sucked into the Speed Force, or because he was meant to be in there, something else could be going wrong. We'll have to wait and see. Maybe it goes off the bridge and we get another Speed Force storm and that creates all that stuff that we've been talking about. Could leading to like all these species getting created, a possible Godspeed arc or arc like that's similar to that. But yeah, we'll have to wait and see. Question 5 comes from She Chose Mal. Hopefully I've pronounced that right. I'm sorry if I haven't. And they ask simply how to fix the DCEU. And I've talked to this with a couple of people, and I think the easy option is you just don't do the group movies. Even Suicide Squad 2, because I think they're doing Suicide Squad 2. Like, I think they're doing that. We've seen, like, the cast get back into training for it. I'm okay with them doing Suicide Squad 2 because I think those characters work when they're together. Maybe if you take Harley Quinn out, then that's probably the only character that could work in her own movie. But those characters only work well together, in my opinion. That's what will make it work, might I say. But I think, do Wonder Woman 2. We got Shazam. We got the Batman. We got... Yeah, arguably Flashpoint is like a team-up movie, but it's centered around the Flash. It's just going to be like almost like cameos or guest appearances by other characters in the DCEU. So I'd almost count that as a solo movie, even though it should be like this big, it should be called like Justice League Flashpoint instead of just Flashpoint, and it's a Flash movie. But regardless, just do the solo movies. I know, Green Lanterns, even if they do like the 2 Green Lanterns, like Hal Jordan and Jon Stewart, if they do that. Do the Green Lantern movie, just do all these solo movies, Green Arrow movie, Swish, even if that's going to have Black Canary, it's still technically a solo movie. Because solo movies nowadays aren't solo movies. Like, look at Black Panther. It wasn't a Black Panther solo movie, it was about Wakanda. It should have been called Wakanda, because it was about everyone. Like, it was a massive supporting cast. There's basically a lot of the Marvels movies that are coming out now. Like, Captain America Civil War was technically a solo movie, but it was Avengers 2.5. So we're going to get that nowadays where it's mainly to keep people on contracts. Marvel's very smart with how they do it. Getting people on for longer contracts. And through all these guest appearances. They're very smart with that, so you actually have to give Marvel massive credit for that. A lot of people look down at it and don't think it's right, but I think it's actually very smart for them. Kevin Feige is a very smart man in regards to doing that with the cast that all the actors that they have available. Like Captain Marvel's probably going to be the closest thing we get to a solo movie, I think, and that's because it's really an origin movie, and even then you're having like Nick Fury in that movie. But this is about the DCEU, so really solo movies. That's what I think they should do. Apart from Suicide Squad, do Suicide Squad 2, make amends for the first one, which I still think is. I think it's still fine when you watch it the first time. I think Suicide Squad isn't necessarily like a really bad movie. I just think it's boring the more you watch it. I just think it's not as exciting, apart from maybe like the opening, like half an hour is actually pretty rewatchable. But the rest of the movie is like pretty lackluster. I wouldn't say it's necessarily bad. I think it's just a bit boring. But yeah, that's probably how I'd fix it. Just solo movies and focus on them and flesh out those characters before you decide to jump into the massive group up movies. Question 6 comes from Han Yolo 97. Hopefully I pronounced that right. I've written them down, but like, I don't know if I've written them down correctly anyway. And they asked, simply, why did you stop reviewing Black Lightning? So I decided to include this in this video because a lot of people ask me in the comment sections and I reply to them. Well, they ask me on Twitter and I reply to them, but not everyone sees those replies. So I'm hoping a decent amount of people watch this video and see this reply. Why did I stop reviewing Black Lightning? Essentially, it's a hard show to break down. That's why no one does it on YouTube. You'll see people doing Legends, you'll see people doing Supergirl, you'll see people doing Arrow. And you know what I mentioned the Flash? That's because Flash gets, the higher views. So a lot of people are just drawn to do Flash because of views. But people won't do Legends. People are doing Legends, Supergirl and Arrow, but they don't do Black Lightning because Supergirl, Legends, and Arrow are sort of breakdownable. Black Lightning is not that. Black Lightning is a very different type of show. It actually doesn't fit that CW model where a lot of things are happening, different storylines necessarily. You can break it down, a lot of mystery. Black Lightning is pretty straightforward, but I think that's why it's working so well. It's just so straightforward, and there's nothing that you can really get frustrated about. The only mystery is really what's going on with Gambit, and that's slowly folding out. It was really discovered really last week, but I think there's more to it, especially with that, is it Cyanide, I think her name is, without spoiling anything. That's essentially why I stopped reviewing it. It was just really hard to break down. I just didn't really want to review it. I really enjoyed watching it. Like, it's out, from when I'm making this video, it's out, well, it's already aired, but I can watch it in about like 4 hours or something. So, I enjoy watching it. It's just that I don't make videos on it. There's a lot of shows I watch that I don't make videos on. It doesn't mean... it's actually some of my favourite shows that I prefer more over the shows I do on my channel, I don't do videos on. Just because they're not really fit YouTube. That's actually the best way to put it. Black Lightning doesn't fit YouTube. That's the best way to put it. It doesn't fit the review, the style of review I do, and I think the style of review a lot of other people do. Unless you're going to clickbait to put like Flash and stuff in the thumbnail and stuff to get views, but that's not what I do. So that's essentially why I stopped reviewing it. Sorry for going like on a prolonged explanation as to why I stopped reviewing it, but that's just how it is. It's just doesn't really fit YouTube, and it's hard to break down. Question 7 comes from D. Stingley, and they ask, do you think Captain Marvel will make a cameo in Avengers? So I'm guessing he means Avengers Infinity War. There's a lot of news going on lately, like, yeah, she's going to be in it, and then no, she's not going to be in it, and then yeah, she's going to be in the post-credit scene, and then no, she's not going to be in a post-credit scene, and then all this other stuff. I'm like, well, just say if she's going to be in there, because at this point, I'm just going to expect she's going to be in there, and if she appears, I'm going to be like, okay, she's there, and if she doesn't appear, I'm going to be like, well, where the hell is she? So just announce it. Just make her in the movie. Just put her in a post-credit scene. Take something from the movie and put it in this one. Like, who cares at this point? If she's going to be in it, it'd be like a 10-second cameo, so just do it. They confirmed she's in Avengers 4. We already knew that from set photos. That she's going to be in Avengers 4, which is like a year after Infinity War. So I'm just going to expect she's going to be in Infinity War, where there's a post-credit scene or something. But yeah, if it happens, it happens. If it doesn't happen, it doesn't happen. I wouldn't say I'm necessarily looking way extremely forward to Captain Marvel. I'm looking forward more to like Wonder Woman 2, to be completely honest, and some of the other Marvel movies. But yeah. And our final question, question 8, is another Marvel one, and that comes from Flashy Fast, and they ask, will Infinity War break $2 billion in ticket sales? And probably, yeah. I think it'll just come down to rewatchability. I think people will go watch it 3 or 4 times. Yeah, I'd have to say, yeah, I think it will break. I think it will just break. I'm not saying it's going to smash it and go, oh, like 3 billion. I think it'll just get there, and it'll probably take a while. You know, like Black Panther broke 1 billion, but it was like what? Black Panther's been out for like a month, roughly. It was out for around a month when it finally broke 1 billion. So I'm expecting the same for Avengers. It'll be around a month, and I don't know about their release date schedule, because I think Black Panther took so long to reach 1 billion because it didn't come out in China and some other areas till like 3 weeks after it came out in America and elsewhere in the world. So it just matters like the release schedule for Avengers, like how long it takes to come out in different countries. But yeah, that's probably what's going to matter. But I think it will break 1 billion, but 2 billion, sorry, but I think it'll just do it. Like it'll break around 2.1 billion or something. It'll just break it. It could smash it, but if I was going to give a prediction, just based off other movies and stuff in the past and things like that, I'd say it would just break 2.1, which is, 2 billion, want to say, which it's not saying like it's something small because no movie's ever done it. So it'd be a massive feat, obviously. But thanks for watching, guys. Hopefully you enjoyed the video. I know it's a bit of a longer one, but that's how it goes in these Q&As. If you enjoyed the video, it'd be awesome. Go drop a like on the video. If you're new to the channel, make sure to subscribe. And of course, if you have any other questions you want for another Q&A video in the next couple of weeks, let me know in the comment section down below your various questions. And I'll catch you later, guys. Goodbye.